Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stock Market Show. This is your host, Shades. As always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I'm dancing my head back and forth, side to side. But no, seriously.
This is incredible. I'm getting it.
You getting what?
A stock.
What stock?
In this video, we are going to go over the entire watch list, stocks I'm watching, because I believe some of these are going to go 5x. Once we go into the bull run, we're still in the Trump's bear market, whatever. Let's take advantage of these cheap opportunities in the markets. So the first one on my watch list are Rich Tech Robotics. They have a robotic bartender that is literally replacing bartenders everywhere. And they're getting contracts. So bartenders are going to be a thing of the past. We're going to have robots now creating the drinks. So let me show you an update here. Rich Tech Robotics announces an agreement to purchase an approximately 20,000 square foot property to expand its headquarters. So they're expanding on top of that. I believe their revenues will start to grow as they get more and more contracts, especially these Las Vegas based contracts. They're going to make a lot of money with these robot bartenders. I think they have let me check. They have a lot of, the future is it's going to be crazy to see robots everywhere. But as an investor, you have the opportunity to get that exposure by buying this company, and if this thing goes to $20, that's a nice 10x, which we know when the AI hype comes around to the markets, we've seen that happen where stocks just go from 2 to 20 or 30. Quantum stocks also pump as well. So right now, while it's quiet, that's when you want to accumulate it. Now let's look at their technology or the solutions here. So they have Atom, a friendly two-armed productivity robot, Scorpion, an AI-powered bartender, which again has been replacing people. They also have Medbot, which does medical deliveries in hospitals, and a robotic waiter as well. So they also got cleaning robots, and I'm sure they have more to come. This is just the beginning for them, and yeah, that machine right there, the one that's replacing bartenders, that one's the one that's getting a lot of attention right now. I think in the future this will get a catalyst and it will skyrocket. So just on due diligence alone, on the fact that they're expanding and they're getting all these orders they're opening up restaurants where it's just robots taking care of everything. So I think there's a Walmart actually nearby me that opened up a restaurant inside the Walmart that has just a robot serving drinks. So I don't think they're making the food. It's just a robot that serves drinks. So maybe one of these days I'll go over there and check it out. But so long bartenders, I guess, and so long to those people. Anyone who's working one of those menial jobs, they're gonna get replaced. That's just the reality. The companies, they're looking to replace you with a robot because a robot is cheap compared to you. They don't have to go poop or pee or complain. They just do the job. So it's, they're superior, essentially is what I'm saying. So Rich Tech Robotics here, it's not under the 200 weighted moving average. I would wait to see if it comes down to 137 and under. That's what I'm waiting for. I expect the market to continue to come down. That's why my price targets are this low. If it doesn't hold right here, which it's been going sideways here between 172 and 2, yes, I get that. So this is our first support here that's barely holding on. If this breaks down, that means the market probably is breaking down, which we should see us come down to around 107 to 130. So I'm waiting for that drop. Does that mean it's going to happen? No, but, I want to get in as cheap as possible. If anything, maybe get a starter position here at 170 and then add bigger as it goes down. You can also average down on this one. Again, this is risky, just like APLD. Things could be looking good and then they decide, we're going to do something else completely different, or maybe their financials aren't that great. This is super risky. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. Super risky. Keep that in mind. This could be another APLD. It just fails and it goes nowhere but down. And they still have a price target of $3. So do not sleep on this one. $3.05. So a nice little almost 100% gains is what these analysts are predicting. My prediction is $20 once we get into a bull run and the AI hype comes back into the market. So that's one to keep an eye on. You know this channel is mainly focused on AI and robotics. Uranium is a buy here under $5. Anytime it's come down this low to the $4 to $5 range, it's always been a buy and it always recovers. So you still have a chance at buying. That's all I got to say. Your price target for selling would be the 200 weighted moving average. So it'll gravitate back up to around $6. And you can flip it for a nice 25 to 50% depending on where you bought it. If you bought down here at the lows here around 4, I mean, you just got to wait for 6 and make a nice 50%. So anytime it comes down here, it's been a buy. So uranium is a buy. Am I buying? No, I'm definitely going to focus on RR stock. BBAI, this is one of those stocks you just have to wait for the contract and it'll start skyrocketing. So you just got to accumulate it right now during the quiet period. There's just so much opportunity out there. Yeah, and you can tell right now as I'm talking, each of these stocks have a different story, right? The story here with BBAI is we just have to wait for the contract and then it explodes. We've seen this happen over and over again. So that's the story. Now it's under the 200. It's just going sideways and falling slowly. Just accumulate it. Don't lump sum. Just slowly start adding to your position. Use fractions, 1/10. Like the stock market, you don't need to be the brightest person. I graduated. I was about to say the name. I graduated high school in 5 years. Dropped out of multiple colleges. All you need is basic arithmetic. Learn how to read financials, and learning how to read charts is an advantage in terms of being able to get the best buy opportunities. That's all you need, and discipline and patience, and maybe some critical thinking and logic. That would definitely be beneficial because I've noticed that common sense is not so common sense nowadays. Apparently, it's a skill. Same thing with patience and discipline. I thought that was a given, but no, patience and discipline is not a given. It's a skill now. So that's sad, but it is what it is. So pat yourself on the back if you've been waiting with a cash position so you can accumulate, BBAI, RR, or uranium nice and cheap. Let's continue here. So the stories are different. Uranium, it's just pure chart play. Literally, where's the bottom? There it is. Buy here and sell it on the way up and take profit. RR, the story is AI robotics. That's going to expand and be everywhere. It's going to be ubiquitous, and they're just going to make hand over fist money having these robots in all the restaurants. What is this? SPY-D. This is a dividend stock. I'm looking to buy this one and just hold it all the way back to the 200. So there's a nice $2 per share gain, possibly. This one keeps going up on the yearly chart because it follows SPY. So it's just this is kind of like NVIDIA. You just buy the dip, it comes back up and goes higher, and you take your profit. So this one, you're not looking to hold it long term or anything. You're really looking to just flip this one for a small little $100, $200 profit. That's what I'm looking for on this one. That's why it's on my favorites watch list. SPY-D. Okay, let's continue here. Stag. I'm removing Stag because now we're going to focus on SPY-D. BBAI, we already talked about that. SCHD was another one. It's another dividend stock that keeps going up on the yearly chart. So pretty much the same thing as SPY-D. You just want to buy it and ride it back up to the 200 WMA. But you know what? I'm going to remove it. And I'm just going to focus on SPY-D, right? Let's not focus on too much. Let's focus on one at a time. HIMS. I don't know about HIMS. You know what? I'm not interested in HIMS right now. AIMD. This one has a bottom, very obvious bottom at 40 cents. Another pure chart play, but also it's AI. They're creating robots that can smell. And that can alert you when there's too much monoxide or whatever in the air. So this is, if they fail, the stock's going to die off and you're going to lose a lot of money. This is super risky, just letting you know. But if it succeeds, we can see this go to dollars. And that's, same thing. It's kind of like Rich Tech Robotics. If it succeeds, a lot of money to be made on this one as an investor. So the bottom is at 40 cents. Very clear, obvious bottom. Anyone who tells you can't time the bottom, they're lying. And when it's very obvious and clear like this, you just wait for it to come down. It always comes down. Look, it pumps to 60 cents for a nice 50%, comes back down, pumps again, comes back down, pumps again, comes back down. It always comes down to this 40-cent line in the sand. So be patient. I've had idiots who joined the Discord. They pay $50 a month for this Discord membership. And these morons, I tell them where to buy, and they decide, oh, I'm just going to buy up here at 50 cents. Like, wait, what? your risk reward ratio just got screwed. And then they complain when it just keeps going down. And I'm like, yeah, this is why you buy as close to the bottom as possible. That way your stop loss is tighter and your percentage loss is going to be lesser. Let me show you that real quick. So if you buy, let's say you just buy at 0.44 and you set a stop loss at 0.39, you stand to lose about, let's see, 11%. Compare that to someone who's dumb and for some reason, I guess they're afraid of missing out. They buy up here at 55 cents. If it doesn't work out and it drops and it tanks below 0.40 before that line in the sand, they stand to lose about 27%, if not more. Because most people, they're going to hold and hope. But if it breaks that line in the sand, more than likely we're going to come down lower, right? That something's changed there if it doesn't hold like it always has. So you screw up your risk to reward ratio. I just don't get it, man. Some people are just, I don't understand. Those people will leave the Discord eventually because they're just, I don't know. They're just dumb. I'm not going to, the ones that are still in the Discord, they're all smart people who understand how to play the game and who adapt and who have learned my strategies and see like, oh yeah, it works. You just got to be very patient and disciplined. Some people, like I said, patience and discipline it's a skill nowadays. It's not a given. Same thing with common sense, apparently. That's why I said read that critical thinking book. I will in the description, no, not in the description, in the comments below, I will have a link to my PDF drive and you can download all the trading books that I've read and the critical thinking book if you want to take yourself next level. Because it's just sad I can go on and on, but look, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Buy at 0.40 to 0.44 around there. Have your stop loss at 0.39. And have your take profit at 0.60. If you want to invest in it, then just keep accumulating down here nice and cheap at around in the 0.40s and hold for dollars. You know, it really depends on whether you're looking to flip it or invest in it. But this one, again, just like are very risky, but if it works out, there's a lot of money to be made. What Mara stock? No, wait, why is this moving? Okay, Sound. I still like Sound. Nothing has changed. It's only dumping because the market as a whole is coming down. So when the market rips, this one's going to go back to all-time highs in my opinion. I believe this is kind of like Palantir, where it's slowly going to get the value that it deserves. Palantir, nobody wanted it when it was at $5. Of course, everyone wants it at 125. Nothing wrong fundamentally with this company. It continues to grow, and it's the voice of AI. So whenever you talk to an AI at the restaurant, when you're ordering, you're literally you're using their technology, and they're getting a lot of contracts with a bunch of restaurants. And restaurants, we know that they're money in the bank. I mean, Domino's Pizza is just pizza, but its share price is at $400, I believe. So I think too many people underestimate this stock just because it works with restaurants. Oh, it just works with restaurants. I guess people look down on companies that work with restaurants. But the reality is, Wingstop right now is at what, $120 per share? Like, I think too many people sleep on this one just because it works with... Look at this. This is literally a Wingstop. It's literally wings. It's a wings restaurant, and its share price is at $200. I think people are sleeping on SoundHound as well. So that one's a buy, and I would wait for $6. We're being a little greedy here and waiting for it cheaper. I think it's best in a bear market to just be greedy. Be greedy and want it cheaper. So if we draw a trend line here, you'll notice that we're just continually going down lower and lower. So if this continues, we should see $6 and under. That's why I'm saying, like, you know what, just wait for 6 and under. So I like SoundHound as well. Again, I'm like, there's so much opportunity. It's like I can't jump into everything. I have to pick my battles, so to speak. Mara stock, I'm about to lose my voice here because I have so much. We just barely went over like 6 stocks. Mara stock, this one is the 200 weighted moving average strategy. You can see over the long term, it fluctuates around the 200, right? So you don't want to buy when it's above it. You want to buy when it's below it. And then it goes above it. And then it goes near it. And then, it just kind of does that over and over again. So when a stock, it just fluctuates around its 200 weighted moving average, it's so easy. Just buy when it's under it. Accumulate when it's under it. When it eventually goes back to 20 plus, take your profit. Make your 30, 50, 80, 100% or more, depending on how high it goes when it goes back above that 200. So this one's pretty self-explanatory. What else? ARKB. ARKB is pretty much direct exposure to Bitcoin's price movement. So if you buy ARKB, you're essentially saying, yes, I think Bitcoin's going to go up. And if you look at Bitcoin, it's at 85,000. And ARKB is, where's ARKB? Where's ARKB? Why did I just lose ARKB? Yeah, ARKB is close to 85. So if you believe that Bitcoin's going to eventually go to 100K plus, then you stand to make about what? If you buy this instead of Bitcoin, you stand to make about 25% if you're willing to hold for the big flip. But if you're looking for a short-term flip, probably just watch for it to go to $90 and take your profit. So ARKB just offers direct exposure to the movement of Bitcoin, but you're not going to make as much in terms of percentage move compared to Mara or Riot stock. Speaking of Riot stock, let's jump into Riot stock. Might as well, right? Since we're talking about the Bitcoin mining stocks. Riot stock here, same story, same exact story. You zoom out. This is the bear market of 2022. Came down nice and cheap to 325 and eventually rallied to 20. Since then, since that bear market ended here back in 2023, beginning of 2023, the bull run started, and guess what? It just fluctuated around this 200 over the long term. Again, you got to think over the long term what it does. It fluctuates around that weighted moving average. So you buy when it's under and you sell when it goes above it. It looks bad right now, but I mean, what doesn't look bad right now? Everything's tanking. Back here it looked bad. It just kept dropping. People thought it was the end of the world, and then it skyrocketed from 3 to 20. But you really have to believe in it, man. You got to have patience at this point. From where it is right now, if you were to buy in, right now, I mean, just to move to $12, which is my target, just to move to $12, you're almost at 100% gains. So we're looking for a big swing on this one, and I am down on it, but I don't care. I've been here before. Sure, it could be the one time I'm wrong, but you know, we'll see. But until something changes fundamentally, there's nothing to worry about. The price targets are at $19, $16, $20, $18. They had good earnings, but they still dumped. Of course, here's earnings right here. They did well earnings, but it's still dumped because the market's gonna sell off in a bear market. That happened with KULR as well. It actually did pump, but it still sold off anyways. So it's just, again, keep in mind why it's going down. It's going down not because the company is bad, but because everything's tanking, because the market as a whole is coming down. You need to be able to differentiate that. APLD, a perfect example of a stock that's tanking, but it tanked because of its bad earnings. Because the company's trying to pivot into being a REIT as well. So something changed there with the company. And it's tanking because of that, not because the market is bringing it down. So you have to be able to differentiate between that and the other one. Gold, I don't care to buy gold. I would only buy gold if it comes back down to the 200. You guys know me. We saw Palantir go to 125, and what happened? It eventually just tanked. So that's just, eventually things will turn around, and this will start coming down nice and cheap to the, it always comes back down to its purple line. It just takes a while, but it will come back down. So gold, not interested in it. Nvidia, I am interested in this one. I'm waiting for 80 to 90 in that range. So let me just draw support here. Again, we know how people are. They like to overreact. They overreacted with DeepSeek. They overreacted again here, whatever. Let them overreact. At the end of the day, people are still gonna have to buy the chips from somebody, and it's always Nvidia. Sure, goodbye China, I guess. I don't care. People are still gonna have to buy Nvidia. Like, it's just, nothing has changed. When DeepSeek came out, people sold because they thought, like, oh no, something just changed here. But it turns out, they're just using Nvidia chips anyways, huh? Just because we're not selling to China doesn't mean it's over. Like, it's just so stupid. So this is a buy, and I'm waiting for 90. Although I wouldn't blame you for buying here at 100. Anywhere at 100 and under, I love it. But I'm waiting for 90 because, again, I'm being greedy to the downside. Do not underestimate bear markets and how low things can go. And the trend is very, very clear here. So if this continues to follow this channel, we're just going to, we would expect to come down lower. All right, let's see. What else? KULR stock. Did I talk about KULR yet? I don't know if I did or didn't, but yeah, I'm waiting for $1 and under. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. Wait for $1 and under. I think that's it, right? I don't think there's anything else here on my watch list. MSTR, a lot of people tell me to talk about this one. Same thing as Bitcoin, it just offers exposure to Bitcoin and its movement with a lot more volatility because it can like literally move up and down like 30-40 bucks. So if you want something way more volatile, MSTR is for you. Same thing, same story. It follows Bitcoin, so when Bitcoin pumps, this one's gonna run as well. Again, very volatile though. Look, you can look at these candles from 543 to it dropped a whole 140 bucks here. Here it pumped a whole, wow, a whole 40 bucks. Like this thing when it moves, it moves. So I don't like trading it because it's too volatile for me. But MSTR, if you love this one and you think Bitcoin's gonna go back to 100 plus, it's a buy. Just start accumulating it. It's kind of like RGB in this sense. I think I didn't talk about Rigetti. Yeah, I'm like, did I miss one? I figured I missed something. Yeah, Rigetti. I'm just making sure that I didn't miss anything up here. We talked about Soun. I don't really care for SoFi. There's nothing wrong with SoFi. I just don't care for it. Servo Robotics, again, I don't really care for it mainly because it's already at $5. It's just better to buy AIMD or RR stock, right? Like those two have not had big pumps to $20. Might as well buy those two and take the risk on those. This is still risky. Servo Robotics, I mean, look at that sell-off. But I don't know. I don't like Serv or SoFi. Just maybe it's just a gut feeling. Like I don't know about these two. APLD, I had a gut feeling about it and I flipped it, and I'm glad I did, or else I'd be holding a bag on that. So I don't know. Sometimes my intuition just tells me, you know, I like that it's AI and robotics, but just my gut feeling tells me like maybe it's just better to go with RR or AIMD, despite them being even riskier because they're like $2 and under. Rigetti, quantum computing, 6 and under. I'm looking for 6 and under. There's the line in the sand here. If that drops, if this drops, it's gonna go under 6, and it can happen. We've seen already how much the market just continues to fall. So we'll see what happens with the tariffs, with the Fed in the future. We'll see what happens with, you know, who knows what will happen. But the market reacts by selling off anytime this administration says anything. So if that continues, we should expect under 6. Let's be greedy to the downside. Let's try to get in as cheap as possible. So I'm looking for RGTI under 6. Palantir, I'm looking for this one at around 60 to 70 because it came down there once. And again, if stocks are going to continue to tank and it is a bear market, we would expect it to come back down. So I'm not buying up here at 90. I'm looking to see and make sure I'm not missing anything before I lose my voice from talking so much. No, I think that's it. Like I was saying about APLD, this green day, that doesn't matter. What was important is how is it gonna move the next day. We'll see what happens though. Still it's just going sideways here, which is cool. Let's hope it just consolidates and then starts climbing. If it consolidates and then just drops, like I said, if it drops under 3, it'll drop fast to 230 and under. Yeah, that's about it. Again, there was so much to talk about. There's just so much opportunity everywhere. Yeah, the other quantum stocks, they're fine too. Like IonQ, there's nothing wrong with these. You can buy them as well. The other quantum stocks, they follow each other anyways. If you look at the quantum ETF, again, the hype isn't here. The hype is gone. But when the hype comes back, a lot of these stocks, the AI quantum, they're gonna skyrocket. The quantum ETF, let me look at the weekly real quick. Wow, the quantum ETF here on the weekly, it loves to come down to that 200 on the weekly. So the quantum ETF keeps track of the quantum stock movement. So you can see here's the hype. Look at that hype here from 43 to 90, and then now the hype has died down. I would at least wait for quantum ETF to come down to like 63. And again, you want to be greedy to the downside here. If the quantum ETF comes down to 63, then that means Rigetti and all the other ones are nice and cheap as well. So keep an eye on the quantum ETF because it gives you a good signal for buying nice and cheap. Also, if it does come down to that 200 here, like it does in the past, you're getting it as cheap as possible. Like look at this. Let me just show you something here. October 23rd, 2023, it touched that purple line on the weekly. So October 23, 2023. Let's go to IonQ. October, where's October 23? Okay, so here is October, and you can see if you had used the quantum ETF as a signal to buy IonQ, you could have bought in IonQ. Let's say you bought at the top here at 1745. I mean, it went to 54. So do not underestimate using an ETF as a signal to buy nice and cheap on the quantum stocks. All right, guys, that's it. I've been talking too long. 25 minutes. You guys better give me that like and subscribe, and I will. My avatar is being all funky, moving left and right, back and forth, but let me squint my eyes over here. Okay, I'm done. I just wanted to check out this avatar as I move back and forth.